Hey guys, I'm Glitter Valkyrie, and today we're going to pull from Mythic Plumeria. This unit has almost all the things that I could possibly want in a character. She is a fairy, she is a dancer, and she can make Aether raids less painful, so I really want her. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the plan today is going to be to try to snipe red whenever we can. And this might not be the best strategy because I don't really want the other two that she's sharing focus with, but I really need an Astra dancer, so I think that we will just do this. Those other two units are really good and I actually don't have them, but I don't have that much of an attachment to either of them, so yeah, I really hope that we get Plumeria. And if we don't have any reds today, I think that colorless will be my backup, just because I would love bow leaf merges and Julian is amazing fodder, so I'd be really happy with that. And, you know, there is Duma in that pool, which is not great for me because I'm not a huge fan, but, you know, I think it's probably worth it just for the leaf or the Julian. And I think that if we don't have any of those colors, we'll go blue next because I love Lucina and Ephraim, and I also love joint drive attack, so I think that that's probably the next best if we don't have those two. And if by some miracle we get a circle full of greens, I don't think we will, I would love a Celica so that I can merge out her Speed Bane. I was actually really hoping that she would share with some different units because I don't necessarily need more Micaiah merges and I have plenty of Yune. So maybe the next time when she comes back she'll share with some better characters, but for now she will probably remain minus speed. So I think that is about it for the banner. I also wanted to talk about the update that we have coming for Fae. I'm really excited about this one because we have some really interesting refines coming up. I feel like Sigurd really deserved it. He's kind of fallen behind with his weapon and he needs something shiny and new. So I'm really excited to see what they do with that. And I'm also really excited to see that they're going to kind of change the UI and we'll be able to see those buffs in combat. It's something that I've wanted for a really long time, and I'm terrible at math, so I'm really excited to see that they're adding that. And the last thing that I want to talk about before we get to viewer questions today is kind of a channel update. And it's nothing really exciting because I will still stick to summoning videos as my main thing, but I did want to kind of throw out the idea of a +10 barracks tour because I have done a lot of dumb things over the course of this game, and I did it for the characters that I love, and I didn't know if people would want to see that. So if it's something that you want to see, let me know, and I would be absolutely happy to do it. So if you want to leave that in the comments, along with any questions that you want me to answer in a future video, feel free to do that. So I think that kind of covers everything that was on my list of things to talk about, and we can move on to viewer questions. And the last time that I made a video, I started answering a question and then we were done, so I didn't finish it completely. And so I can start with that one. And that question came from Luke McGuigan and I ship Randolph X Ike. And they asked who my least favorite characters were from each Fire Emblem game. And I finished with FE6, so we'll start today with FE7. And I would say Sonia, just because she was a terrible mom and she kind of ruined the Black Fang, so yeah, she was definitely my least favorite from FE7. And then for FE8, that one is really tough because there were so many great characters in that game and even the villains were really endearing. However, I really disliked Valter. He's probably the only one that I disliked, so I would say him. And then if we move on to the Telia series, I would say Makalov. I think he was a terrible character. I loved Astrid, and she had such potential for growth, and she liked Makalov, and I totally didn't get it. So he was my least favorite. And then what's next? Oh, Awakening. So this is a hot take, and it probably won't surprise a lot of people, but Sumia was my least favorite. I'm sorry. And then for Fates, this is a boring answer, but Garen. I think that he wins the award for worst Fire Emblem dad, and maybe it's not his fault, I get that, but I really didn't like him, so he's my least favorite from Fates. And then we just have 3 houses left. And I feel like I should preemptively apologize because my least favorite is a character that so many people adore, and I'm really sorry. It's Edelgard. I really tried to like her. I played Crimson Flower. I made her my best unit. She was really, really good. And I watched all the cutscenes, and I still didn't like her. I'm sorry. I played Azure Moon and I played Verdant Wind first, and particularly the ending of Azure Moon really kind of swayed my opinion of her. And maybe if I played Crimson Flower first, my opinion would be different, but I did what I did, and I don't enjoy her very much. So that is my answer. And the next question today on my list comes from Generic Doggo Weeaboo, and they ask, who is your most regretted +10 unit that you have? Honestly, I don't really regret any of my +10s because they're pretty much all of my favorite characters. I regret some of the builds a little bit, some of the foddering that I did, because like for instance Matthew, I gave him Special Spiral before his PRF came out, and Vantage is better, so maybe I regret some decisions that I made there, but I regret none of my projects because they're all characters that I love. But thank you for that great question. And the next one on my list today comes from Jimmy Kirsch, and they ask, is there anything you would like to see out of future Fire Emblem games? Well, I always love when they kind of build on past titles and do something different with each game, but the one thing that I want to see come back is the weapon triangle. And, it's something that I really missed in Three Houses. I know you can kind of cheese it a little bit with doing the breaker skills for some of the characters, but it's such a core part of Fire Emblem for me, and I missed it so much, so that's what I really hope comes back. But thank you for that great question. And the next question on my list today comes from Lizenstein, and they ask, what are your predictions for the next Halloween banner? Okay, so I think that we are due for a Harmonic Hero next, and I have no idea what they'll do for that, but I would love to see Chrom in some fashion. I think that Shadow Dragon has a good chance of getting an alt because I think the last Shadow Dragon alts were the babies. But I also think that we could see a Halloween Camilla. Oh, 10%, wow. I think that we could see Camilla because she did have DLC where she was in a Halloween costume, but there were a lot of other characters that did too. I think Tsubaki had one too, but we could maybe see Fates in this upcoming banner, but I'm really excited to see what they do for sure. And the next question on my list comes from Julia, and she asks, what is your favorite kind of alt, like Halloween or New Year's? So Halloween's actually my favorite. It's my favorite holiday, and every year they've given us something really great, so yeah, I'm really excited to see what they do this year. But thank you for that great question. And the next one on my list today comes from Gemini the Spy, and they ask, if Xander, Sarah, Claude, and La Rochelle were Pokemon gym leaders, what Pokemon types do you think they would specialize in? That is a great question. So I think that we can start with Xander. He would be a dark type because of Nor. Then for Claude, I think that he could maybe do poison or psychic, but I'm going to say normal actually, because then he could have a deerling to go with golden deer, and it would be really, really cute. And then for La Rochelle and Sarah, they both fit the fairy aesthetic so well, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say Psychic for La Rochelle because I just feel like she would have a Galarian Ponyta. It would be the perfect Pokemon for her. And then for Sarah, she will get Fairy, and I could totally see her rocking a Sylveon. So those would be my answers, and thank you for that very creative question. So the next question on my list today comes from Pondafleck, and they ask, what do you think about Italian food? I love it. I'm actually half Italian, half German, so I grew up with a lot of amazing food. So yeah, I'm a big fan. And then the next question today comes from Akatsuki Yoshi, and they ask, what kind of update do you want to appear most in Fae? I think that I have said this before, but I want friend interaction so badly. I want us to have guilds, and I want us to expand the friend list so that I can spam stickers with all my friends like I do in Dragalia Lost. But I think that we have such an opportunity with this game to implement friend interaction. Even with Frontline Phalanx, I feel like they could do something with that. So I hope that we see something like that in the future. But thank you for that great question. And the next question on my list today comes from Nunu. And they ask, what game do you like the most from a mechanical standpoint? Oh my gosh, double Sophia. This is a hot take, but I would say Conquest. It was just so much fun. I love the map design, and I just had such a great time with it. So I would say Conquest. But thank you for that question. Okay, Smoke. Please be Plumeria. And it's Marth. All right, let's back out. Let's check the appearance rate. Oh, 11%. All right, let's go on to the next question. The next one today comes from Goncalo Costa, and they ask, which Pokemon games have you played and which one is your favorite? So X is my favorite, and I have played all of the mainline Pokemon games with the exception of like Black and White 2 and Ultra Moon. I just kind of stuck to the originals for those, but I've also played some of the kind of off-branch games for the GameCube, and I played Pokemon Snap, which I loved as a kid, and I'm so excited that we're going to get it on the Switch. So yeah, I'm a huge fan of Pokemon, and I really can't wait to see what they do next. But thank you for that great question. And the next question on my list today comes from Uni, and they ask, what is your favorite coffee type? I am extremely basic. I love pumpkin spice lattes. I love coffee that doesn't taste like coffee. So yeah, that would be my answer. And the next question on my list comes from Cromsicle. And they ask, do you play Smash? And if so, who are your mains? Oh, okay. Oh, we got Seliph. All right. At least his art is good. Let's check IVs. And he is neutral. All right. You know, it wasn't what I was aiming for, but at least he's not like minus attack. I guess I'll take it. But I hope this is Plumeria. Okay, 3-star. Oh, we get Kane. Let's try the blue. Maybe Lucina's there. Okay, Smoke. And it's Sully. All right. Okay, let's pull the colorless. Maybe we'll get something good here. Or maybe it'll be Duma. Okay, Smoke. Yes! Oh gosh, I'm so happy about this. I think that he's going to be +5 or +6, which would be great. And he is +speed. But he has emerged, and I'm happy. And the genealogy boys came home together, so that is great. So, I should stop here. I should. Halloween is coming. But I do have a ton of orbs in my present list. And I have a bunch of maps to do. And I really want Plumeria. So, should I? You know what? I am the queen of bad decisions. I'm gonna do this. Okay, no reds. This might be a sign, but I'm gonna ignore the sign and keep going because I really want to enjoy Astra Week. So I don't think that I finished the question from Cromsicle about my Smash main. My main in Smash is actually Corrin, but I also like to play as Rosalina as well. And I do like to play as Chrom, even though I'm really bad at him, but I still try. You know, I did also try Byleth, but I could really never get a handle on her, so mostly I play as Corrin and Rosalina with sometimes Chrom. But thank you for that lucky question. And the next one on my list today comes from Stephen Lee, and he asks, who are the next 3 houses characters that you want in Fae? And with the summoning pool changed since August, who were your worst pity breakers before then? Okay, for the first part of your question, Marianne is one of my most wanted characters in Fae. I want a +10er, and I have a bunch of books saved for her, no matter what type of unit she is, so I'm hoping that we get her. But I also really love Felix, and I love Dedue, and so many other characters like Caspar. I know I'm forgetting so many, but those are the characters that I think I want the most. And then for my worst pity breakers before all those characters got yeeted, I would have to say Sumiya and Shiro. Those were my most disappointing. But thank you for that great question. And the next one on my list today comes from Sakura Fox, and they ask, what are your favorite characters and general thoughts from Effie Echoes? Oh gosh, you know, I loved Echoes so much. I love Alm and Celica, and I love Silk, and Zeke, and Tatiana, and Conrad, and oh my gosh, we got her. Oh, I'm so glad that we kept going. Oh, she looks great. And we get a blessing. All right, let's check IVs. And she is minus speed. She's gonna mostly dance, so I am more than happy with this. So you know what? I think I want to finish the circle. Why not? So getting back to the question from Sakura Fox. Yes, I loved all those characters, and I really enjoyed it. I think the cutscenes were beautiful, and I didn't maybe love some of the maps so much in Echoes, but I loved the story and the characters so much that it was really a great experience for me. So thank you for that lucky question, Sakura Fox. And you know, I think that we're pretty close to the end of the video, so I probably won't answer any more, but if I didn't get to your question, I'm so sorry, and I'll try to do it in a future one. And of course, if you think of any questions to ask me, just go ahead and leave it in the comments, and I'm happy to answer them. Okay, 3-star. We get a Klein. All right, last pull. Okay, smoke. And we end with a Robin. All right, it took a while, but we did get Plumeria, and we got the genealogy boys as well, so I'm happy. And I want to wish you all the best of luck with your summons on this or the upcoming Halloween banner, and as always, thanks so much for watching, and have a wonderful day.